Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
hope you guys are doing wonderful. Eeyore Blues, Melanie, Sonia, it's nice to see you. Gigi for life, Amelia, our beautiful Melanie, thank you as always. Hugs and love. She says, happy Sunday, Betty, Delilah, Mods, and chat. I hope everyone is doing well. Much love to you, BHB, and everyone. Prayers to whoever needs it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do appreciate that. Who else do we have? Phil, it's nice to see you. The real me too up in the house. Denise, it's nice to see you. Vicky, Deanna, Ashlee, good evening, ladies. It's nice to see you. Corinne, good evening. SRK, it's lovely to have you from across the pond there. Cinderella, Panda Bear's mom, Bookworm, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing. YouTubers up in the chat. It's nice to see you, love. Plant Lady. Who else do we have? Sasha. Good evening. Our beautiful unicorn up in the house. Gwen, it's nice to see you. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody is doing well. So we don't really have a whole, well, we do have a little bit to go over, but we don't have a whole lot to go over. There's not a whole lot related to this case, and I'm kind of a little perplexed on which way we go. I don't believe that anything bad has happened to this child so far. I mean, I'm hopeful. I don't know what to say other than hopeful right now. That's the best thing I can describe right now. You guys don't usually hear me say that on any case. Usually I think that the parents, even this case here, I thought the mom had done something terrible to her daughter. But then the details start coming out. Hey, Panda Bear's mom, she says, thank you for all you do. Back at you, sweetie. Back at you. But in this particular case, we have a situation where mom has had her bouts of problems. She's been up, she's been high, and she's been low, okay? For the whole 9 years that this child has been born, she has had highs and she's had lows. And she's probably had a lot more lows than she's probably had highs, you know? Not talking about substances. I think that's a whole nother factor. I think that there is a possibility of that being a factor in this case, even though I haven't had anything substantial, come forward and say, yeah, this, she's got a drug problem or, an alcohol problem or something like that. Oakley, it's nice to see you. Common Sense. Hello, my loves. Hello. So this is kind of where we are, and when you kind of look at the history of this, you see that she's had her child taken from her at least one other time, at minimum. And what did she do when that happened? It sounds like, from what Rubiel's family says, and this is Melodee's deceased father's side of the family, she ran out of the state. So now she's kind of faced with a situation where the school's, beating on her door. They've got, they're breathing down her neck. And obviously she's probably got some PTSD coming back saying, they're coming after my kid, And so her MO is leave the state with her kid. So I'm thinking that this is going to be one of those very few times that we have a child that's with friends or family, distant friends or family, somebody that's not in the most recent history. I think we're going to find some. The FBI is involved. The FBI is very good at what they do. That car that she has, that she rented, has an infotainment center. And if you know anything about the new vehicles this day and age, they have a lot of information that's stored in those infotainment centers, including where they went, when the car was in drive and reverse, when the blinker was turned on, and every year the digital information that those infotainment centers can download are getting more and more and more. Hey, Mama Bear, it's nice to see you, love. It's nice to see you. Lisa B. Always, it's nice to see you. Good evening, my love. I hope you're doing well. So I have to think that they have a good idea of where she went. This is like the most bizarre case I have ever, it's like, just when you think that you've got this case figured out, something else happens where you don't know what's up and what's down, right? And it's like, no matter what you do, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Anyways, before we get all drived into this case, I figured we might as well get an update on a little side, a side thing that we were doing. If you guys know, we went over to Paris because there was some jewel dynasties type of stuff that's been around for centuries. Somebody left an extended ladder out, and these robbers took the opportunity and went up into the Paris and stole like millions of dollars worth of jewels. How this happened, I literally don't know. I feel like a piece of me, and we're going to find out because it sounds like 2 people are under arrest. 2 of 4 people. 2 of 4 people are under arrest. So let me get over here. Let me get up and let me just give you guys a little update so you guys can get on your way with this, so we can put this, in the box. Because I gotta tell you, it's not very often we get a live jewelry heist, in this world, where we can say this feels like a James Bond movie. But for the first time, this is like the thrill of the century. We really had a true life, jewelry heist. Like, this was, stuff that, historical crap. I mean, it's from different queens, and it was insane. Almost $100 million worth of jewels stole. I mean, think about it. You'd only need a once-in-a-lifetime heist like that. They had 4 people involved. That's like $25 million. I don't know about you, but if I had $25 million, I'd be set for life, okay? I'd be set for life. I would have no wants in this world with $25 million sitting in my bank account or in my offshore account. Or, and if I was this kind of, jewel thief, maybe in the mattress, Can you imagine if your house went up in smoke and you had $25 million worth of cash in your mattress? Oh, good gracious. That would be horrible. I would cry. I would... You'd have to go do another jewel heist. Yeah, another jewel heist. So they're saying, yep, they got suspected, the suspects arrested over the theft. It sounds like 2 of the 4 people. I just wanted to let you know. 2 suspects were arrested in connection with the theft of the crown jewels from Paris's Louvre Museum. Justice and police officials said Sunday, a week after the heist, that stunned the world has sparked a massive manhunt. The Paris prosecutor said the investigators made arrests Saturday evening, adding that one of the men taken into custody was preparing to leave the country from Paris Charles de whatever airport. French media, BFM TV, and whatever newspaper earlier reported 2 suspects has been arrested and taken into custody. Paris prosecutor Laura whatever didn't confirm the number of arrests and didn't say whether any jewels had been recovered. So we don't know if the jewels had been recovered. I can tell you, I don't know if it's in this particular article or not, or if it was in another one I read. It sounds like they're looking for at least 4 people, and they've got 2 in custody. So I just thought, you guys, since we did kind of go over this, I didn't want to just leave it hanging that we had this huge heist, in Paris, and then never do a follow-up on like what happened. I happened to be driving. I happened to be rolling through news today, and I got an update on it. I figured, this is something we covered. Hey, Pebbles, True Crime Justice. It's nice to see you, love. Adrienne, Faye, good evening, y'all. It's nice to see you. So what we have here is, this is Melodee Buzzard. We've been kind of covering her case. We took this case on originally because we thought she was deceased, okay? What did her question? I would like to know, did the mother walk with Melodee to rent the car? It's a great question. Sorry, my lips are peeling. Well, the answer would be probably not. And I would like to know, did the mother walk in with Melodee to rent the car? Oh, walked in. Okay. I misread that. I thought you meant, did she walk to go rent the car? And I'm like, no. Would you like to know, did the mother walk in with Melodee to rent the car? The answer most likely is yes, she did. Sorry, I misunderstood that. I thought the question originally was, did she walk to rent the car, not walk in with Melodee to rent the car. I see there's a big difference there. So you're talking about whenever she was at the rental car, did her and Melodee walk in with the fake hair, the wig? I've looked at that. I've looked at that wig. I know we were kind of back and forth. Is it possible she could have straightened her hair? Is it possible she could have done something? And I looked at it. It's black. It's a black wig. As you can see here in her hair is a beautiful dark brown hair. So if she would have straightened this hair, it would have still kept this beautiful color. And the pigment of what we saw was truly a solid black wig that had been straightened, so it had straighter hair, not curly hair like she has here. And this poor little girl, I'm kind of like middle of the road with this situation, because obviously she's had the child taken away from her before, so I believe she has kind of PTSD. She knew that it was only a matter of time before her daughter was going to be taken away from her because she wasn't completing assignments. I don't know why. She just didn't have her daughter start completing the assignments. So for those that are just tuning in here, or just learning about this case, this beautiful smiling face behind me, her name is Melodee Buzzard. She was, I believe, 7 years old in this photo. She is now 9 years old. There was no photos available of this child any more recent than this that law enforcement could get a hold of. At any rate, on or about October 14th, there was a welfare check and a missing person report received for Melodee Buzzard, a 9-year-old girl out of Santa Barbara, Santa Barbara County, California. Her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, refuses to cooperate. Oh, thank you. Oh, SRK gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership to one lucky person. If you receive that Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell SRK thank you, and welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. So her mom's refusing to cooperate, and typically when we're going over cases like this and we see a situation like that, when mom stops cooperating, it's, we're looking at a serious situation. Not just a serious situation, a sad situation. Like we're expecting the child to be deceased, okay? When we start going into a situation where, the child hasn't been seen or heard from anyone in such a long time, mom rents a car, takes, off for out of state, comes back, there's no child, there's no, whatever. This is really indicative of a parent that is most likely harmed their child, and their child's most likely deceased. So naturally, when we got a hold of this case, we're looking at this case like this beautiful baby is going to be deceased, that this mother cracked, because, we're coming off like a Travis Decker. Travis Decker is a father that was out in Washington, and he had 3 girls he had visitation with, and he went and picked up his girls. But because of his living, he lost his home. He was living out of his car. Every time the kids had to overnight with their dad, they had to be at a campground. So the court said, sorry, sir, but this is just not a conducive environment for children. So he was able to see his children on the weekend, but he couldn't have overnight visits. And so he went and picked him up. I think this was a Friday night or a Saturday night. I'm sorry, the details are a little foggy. It's either Friday or Saturday. He goes and picks him up around 5 o'clock like he normally does. And he's supposed to have them back, I believe, like 8 or 9 o'clock. I think it was 8 o'clock. I think he's supposed to have them for 3 hours and bring them back. And by 9 o'clock, Mom, Whitney Decker, she's like freaking out. She's thinking, okay, that he's never done this before. So she calls law enforcement. She tells them about their custody agreement. Law enforcement blows it off. And lo and behold, he snapped. He killed all 3 of the children. And he ended up going off in the woods and unaliving himself as well. They did ultimately find him, but it was that snap effect. He snapped. And he loved his children. So we have that in the back of our mind when we're dealing with cases like this, that there is a possibility that Mom could have just snapped. And so we were kind of going off on the premise. That was kind of taking the strongest hold at the beginning, because this is the Bullhorn Betty channel, and we see a lot of horrible things on this channel. So naturally, we side-eye everything. We don't take anything for granted. We don't take the soft way around. We think the worst case scenario, not the best case scenario. And it's just because of our experience here. So naturally, we're thinking this child, based on Mom not wanting to cooperate, this child's got to be deceased. Well, I don't believe that. Based on what we're learning about Mom, she's done this before. She's done this before when his family tried to take Melodee. So it's giving me a little bit of more of a comfort area. And what I mean by that is I feel like this is a major situation. We have to find her, period. We have to make sure that she is okay. But for the first time, I feel like out of all the children we cover on the Bullhorn Betty channel, this is going to be the one that feels like she will make it, like she is here. I think it's the way they zoomed in on the video. So we're still talking about, what are we talking about? Her photo. Do I have some photos up here? I don't have the photo though. Damn it. I know which photo you're talking about. We'll have to get to them kind of closer to the end. Let me see what Lisa's saying here. I have a granddaughter that is about a month older than Melodee. She has changed significantly in the last 2 years. I could tell in the face that this child has changed. She looks definitely much older. This is she had her baby face. This was her baby face. She still has some of the same features, obviously, because it's her. But her face looks a lot older than she did here, and she's obviously a lot taller and bigger than she was there. But I must still had I was eating gummy nerds, and apparently I looked down and I still had some evidence. So me and evidence, that incriminating evidence we had to get rid of real quick. This is a Bullhorn Betty channel. We leave no evidence behind. None. Just saying. Okay. Talking about her disappearance, I believe. Appearance. The baby. Yeah. She's definitely changed a lot, but I don't think her hair would have changed that one. Like I said, her hair, that was, I agree with law enforcement. They definitely, I would have never picked that out. I thought when I first looked at it, I thought her hair was matty. Like, like it hadn't been washed. And I think I said something like that, like she doesn't look very clean. Her hair looks something like, the first thing I noticed was the hair, but I didn't take into consideration that it was a wig, because I would have never thought to put a wig on a kid, No, the hair wouldn't change that much. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong thing. That was, I went to put, I had to put this up there, and I hit the wrong thing. Sorry, let me go back to that. Okay, there we go. And so I just wanted to read this here. It says, this is from a Danelle Hallen. I'm not sure who that is, but really did a great job on breaking this down. It said authorities have expanded the search for 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard, who disappeared last week, has sparked growing concerns across multiple states. The FBI joined the investigation on October 18th after local detectives uncovered evidence suggesting Melodee may have been seen with her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, in a vehicle that had traveled as far as Nebraska. According to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office, Melodee and her mother were last believed to be traveling in a rented white Chevrolet Malibu with California license plate 9MNG101. The car has since been recovered, but officials say Ashlee is no longer in possession of it and continues to refuse to cooperate with investigators. When detectives first made contact with Ashlee Buzzard on October 14th, she provided no clear explanation about her daughter's absence. The department said in a statement, "At this point, she remains uncooperative and has not provided any information about Melodee's current location or condition." Family members described the situation as heartbreaking and deeply troubling. Melodee's aunt, Vicki Shade, told reporters that Ashlee has a long history of mental health struggles and has isolated herself from relatives for years. "We've tried everything to stay in Melodee's life," Shade said. "My mother even sought custody or visitation because we were so worried about her." Melodee's father, Rubiel Meza, died in a motorcycle accident shortly after her birth, leaving her solely in her mother's care. Relatives say Ashlee's erratic behavior worsened after his death, and they have since lost contact with both mother and daughter. The FBI, now assisting in the case, law enforcement agencies across several states are working together to track down leads. Investigators are urging anyone who may have seen the white Malibu or has information about Melodee's whereabouts to contact authorities immediately. "Our number one priority is confirming Melodee's safety," officials said. "We ask the public not to conduct independent searches that could interfere with the investigation." Now, I'm not sure if it's going to interfere with the investigation or not, or if they're looking at a state, but I'm definitely not looking inside the state of California for the location of Melodee Buzzard. I'm sorry, I'm just not. There is no evidence that she is in the state any longer. Actually, as a matter of fact, all the information that we have learned so far suggests she's anywhere but the state of California. Now, I don't know where she would be along the path. In order for her mother to get to Nebraska, she would have to go through the state of California, Nevada, what other one did she? Utah, Colorado, and then into Nebraska. Then she did a turnaround where she kind of went through Kansas and started coming back toward the California area. It was very interesting because there's only one spot in Ashlee's history where she lived in Iowa. I thought it was a very odd, and I think we've talked about it ever since I pulled the background of her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, was this one weird address that's all the way in Iowa, in this place called Marshalltown, Iowa. And it is a significant, path away from California, but everything that I could see in Ashlee's history expressed that she lived in California. She was raised in California. Her whole life is in California. So to see this oddball Iowa address, I couldn't figure it out. There for a little minute, I actually thought that it was maybe belonged to somebody else. There was another Ashlee Buzzard in this country. There's not a whole lot of Ashlee Buzzards, so she's pretty easy to identify, and that's throughout the whole United States. But there was another Ashlee Buzzard with an A-S-H-L-E-Y, not L-E-E, L-E-Y Buzzard, and she passed away. She's no longer with us. So it kind of brings a lot of stuff down, you know, to where we can kind of hone in on Ashlee Buzzard throughout the United States. There is another Ashlee Buzzard that I saw that has like a reddish curly hair. I mean, they could actually almost be sisters, to be honest with you, but I don't know if they're related. And it looks like the girl had contacts in it, but she was from, and it's on her LinkedIn profile, but she's from South Carolina. And I know for a fact that Ashlee Buzzard has never been to South Carolina, let alone has a college degree from South Carolina and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I knew that this profile, this LinkedIn profile, was not hers. But I thought maybe that Iowa address might have been the same situation. And so I did a little bit of due diligence, and no, it was accurate. She had lived there. I couldn't determine when she had lived there, or how long she lived there. Was it in, 2008? Was it, was it in, 2010? Was it in, we don't know. We know that Rubiel passed away in 2016. So it's safe to bet that it was after 2016 she lived in Iowa, but we didn't know why or what for, or who she knew there to run, and we didn't know she was on the run or that she was running from Rubiel's family, from them trying to take custody of Melodee. But now we see her going over there, and we did kind of hone in that she was going to Nebraska, which is a state right next to Iowa. Did she have somebody meet her over there? But then we heard her mother, Lori Miranda. And I've done some digging in on Lori Miranda. It sounds like her mother used to be a principal. Now, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it seems like everything I'm looking at, her mother was actually a principal. Does it tell me the school she was a principal at? No, it just says principal, United States, Santa Maria, Santa Barbara, California. So it looks like she was a principal. Or maybe that is the way this makes it sound. I don't know. I'm trying to read some of these. I'm trying to look at a family search, because I'm trying to determine whether the Miranda name is her maiden name or not. And I'm having a hard time trying to figure, hey, Allie, it's nice to see you. I think we're looking at another Lori Vallow situation. I'm hoping not. I'll be honest with you, Allie. I'm really hoping not, because usually, hey, Terry, it's nice to see you. Usually I go there and I've already been there. And I'm hoping I'm wrong about that. I'm really hoping that is not, right now I'm looking at an MO where she's done this before. So I have a pattern of behavior, and I'm crossing my fingers that that's true. I've looked at her history, and everybody's making a big deal about these recent credit card filings where they're trying to take her to court and sue her for her past balances. I've looked in her history. This is not the first time she's went through it. So I feel like she's already been through stress like this before, and this is not going to be enough stress to make her snap. Okay, that's just kind of how I'm feeling with this now. When I first got into this case, and like I said, the mom was being uncooperative, I'm thinking this child's dead. And as I keep working this case, it's like the more I feel like this is going to be that one case where she's not dead, and I'm going to trust my gut on this for right now. Now there may be something that changes, because again, my gut was telling me she was gone. Okay. My gut was telling me she was gone, and now my gut's telling me that she might be here. I feel like she's got some distant relatives nobody's looking at. I believe this is kind of how I'm looking at it. Because before, when she left the state with her daughter, she was with her daughter, okay? And now she's not with her daughter. So there's a big difference in what she did the first time and what we're dealing with right now as a second time in this case. So I have a problem with that. I will be honest with you. Does Ashlee have a boyfriend? I don't know if she does. Ashlee Buzzard was successful in her last attempt to hide Melodee from others, and are trying to take Melodee. Yes, that's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, she was. That's another issue. She didn't report it. Well, if the children tried to defend herself, the mother may have went too far. I'm not sure what that is about. Melodee, please call us. We will make sure you are safe and make sure people won't hurt you. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's being hurt. I feel like at this point, there's nothing really here. Like, I'm trying to show you guys where I've changed, because at the beginning I was looking at her behavior and I thought we were going to be dealing with a child that's going to be deceased, and I said that. I said, this is not going to end good. This is not going to end good. And then as I started learning more about Ashlee and learning more about her history, and and seeing that she's ran, and knowing that she usually only stays in homes for about 2-3 years is the top amount of time she has stayed in a home, and this is kind of, she's been here for 2 years, and we started seeing all the boxes in the garage. We're seeing her packing up. We watched her while she was talking, while her sister, Melodee's half sister, was trying to talk to Ashlee. We're seeing her pulling in a pink suitcase into the home, and so that's implying she's packing up. I mean, and there's boxes in the garage, again implying that there's some type of packing up. So it sounds like she might be trying to get the hell out of there so she can meet her daughter. But it sounds like in the past, there's only been at least one other contentious time in the past where she was really fearful of losing her child again, because she's already lost her child. She lost Melodee. Melodee was in the care of the family, Rubiel's family, the father's family, the deceased father's family, and they were in the process of trying to adopt her when Ashlee got Melodee back. And when she realized the family was trying to sue her to get custody or have visitation, she fled the state. And then she put a restraining order on them to keep them away so they couldn't do that. Well, she can't put a restraining order on the state or the county, So when they started calling her, I'm having to think that she started getting concerned if they came inside that house that they would take her daughter. So she must not have been taking care of her. So one of two things, obviously her daughter's either one of two ways. She's either okay or she's not. And law enforcement is trying to get a hold of her daughter to make sure that she's okay. But in Ashlee's mind, they're trying to find her daughter to take her daughter away from her. So she's not cooperating on where her daughter is. I really don't believe, like we have family, dead to rights, Miranda. I've only seen her mother, Lori Miranda, have two names that I can find associated with her mom. And that's Lori Jean Miranda and Lori Jean Buzzard. And we know Lori Jean Buzzard was her married name and Ashlee's father's last name. But the Miranda is the only other name that I can find associated with Lori Jean, which almost to me implies that this is her maiden name. And if it's her maiden name, then Jose would have to be her family member. And if Jose's her family member, they have a whole host of family that lives in Nebraska. Lives specifically in Nebraska. We've located them. It's on a Jose B. Miranda. He lived in, let me make sure I don't have you guys on here. He lived in, oh, good gracious. Why does this keep going down to the bottom? What the hell? Give me a second. I'm refreshing it. I don't know what's wrong with it. Every time I move it up, it scrolls all the way down to the bottom again. I don't know why. What the hell? Oh, I must have had this on. Okay, so his name is Jose B. Miranda, and he lives in Lexington, Nebraska. But he's not the only family member that lives in Nebraska. They have a whole host of family. All of his family and children live in Nebraska. They have a Juan Figueroa. It's a that lives in Nebraska. They've got a lot of people. Familial people with the Miranda name that live in Nebraska that are associated with her mom, Lori Jean Miranda. So now we're going to get over here to this map, which we saw it yesterday. I had it up yesterday. And as you can see, this is kind of where they started out at. You know, this is kind of the trajectory toward Nebraska. They went to Nebraska and somehow turned around. And when they turned around, came into the state of Kansas. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this going all the way over here? It's because I went ahead and plugged in the Lee Street address in Marshalltown just to see how far it was, from Nebraska and how far in in Iowa they were. This is Lee Street. This is where she lived in Iowa. So we have, let me get this up. Can I get this up? There we go. I think we got it all right there. There we go. Now you guys should be able to see it. So we have the house down here. This is where she's at. This is where, the child was on October 7th. Mom rents a car. She goes on a cross-country, almost halfway cross-country event. I feel like if she was just going to off her child and take her child out, she didn't have to go all the way out here, okay? And clearly she's been out in this area before. Why does she keep going this way when she needs help? Why does she keep going this way when somebody is hunting for her child? The first one was Rubiel's family. This time it's Lompoc Unified School District. But she keeps going out the same way. This is where she was when she left the first time, and ran from Rubiel's family. She ran to Iowa, Lee Street, Iowa, Marshalltown, Iowa. This is where she stayed. Look at the direction she went this time. This is what's giving me hope. It's a familiar location, exactly, but this is what's giving me hope here. Okay? Because this isn't the first time she's taken this trip. The question is, who does she know all the way out here? And you know who I think has the information? Her mom. Folks, I think Lori knows more than she's saying. I think law enforcement needs to squeeze mom, or grandma rather, right? I think they need to squeeze her. She went out of her way to get there. Yeah. But there's a few reasons why I'm starting to feel this way. Think about it. Let's go through some of the checklists here. Okay? We've got the wig, right? If she was just going to take her somewhere, you know, and toss her away, why the wig? Why the wig? The wig, in my opinion, didn't change any. I mean, if you're, the wig is only, in my opinion, the wig is only purposeful if you're not going to have the hoodie on. I feel like the wig takes away if you're putting the hoodie on, because you're covering up the head anyways, where you're only seeing the face and the facial features. Which is, like, in my opinion, you want the hair out because you want the hair to distract from the face. I mean, that's really what you're trying to do. So when you're putting on a wig and you're putting a hoodie over the wig, all you're showing is your face. You're wasting you're wasting it. You're wasting it. I agree. This disguise is a good thing. I think so. I think we're reading some of this. I know. I feel like at the very beginning, I'm reading this case wrong. Because at the beginning, you know, I was, moms, we're accustomed when parents are lying or refusing to cooperate, that it typically means their child is dead, right? That they did something to their child. They're trying to hide this stuff from the public. But in this case, this, in my opinion, is showing that she is trying to keep the state and the county out of her business. And that's probably why she has that pissed off, snarky look, because she doesn't want them in her business, you know? And I'm not saying she's a safe mom. You know, I feel like, you know, her isolating her child is obviously, in my opinion, abusive in and of itself. Like, I believe in homeschooling children, but I do not believe in isolating children. Homeschooling children is one thing. There's still a lot of, you know, field trips and stuff that they go on to be around other people. I think socializing children, going to the parks, going to the museums when they're young, if they're homeschooled, is a huge step. Army Vet says, law enforcement says they used surveillance camera images and vehicles rental and phone GPS and ping data to trace the trip to determine that Melodee was with her mother as far as Nebraska. They lost track. Wow. If they lost track, she might be in Iowa. I wonder though, Army Vet, you know? I wonder if it is like, if they did lose track, who's to say she didn't go further than Nebraska? Is it possible that she could have gone further than Nebraska? You know? Deep spots. Well, let me gauge the audience here. Let me just see what we got here for audience. She must have changed vehicle. Oh, that might be an option too. But if she changed vehicles, I would have to think that somebody had to have met her. I'm still not convinced that somebody didn't meet her in Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not convinced that nobody has met her. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you're coming in or going out, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It keeps us in. Obviously, we're struggling right now. We have been shadow banned on YouTube. I really don't care. I'm going to still keep telling them to just go screw themselves every day. I don't even care if it hurts me even worse at this point. But they can only keep this going for so long. And from what I heard, it was it's 30 days. When I talked to, and we should be almost out of our 30 days now. If I calculate it correctly, we should have only about 5 more days left of this nonsense to deal with. But Either way, just hit that thumbs up button for your girl. I'd greatly appreciate that. I feel like somebody's helping her, but you know who would know is, I believe her mom knows. Her mom's put up with her shit her whole entire life. It sounds like whenever she was going through the crap the first time and they were going to her mom's house, her mom was the one saying, get lost, telling the other side of the family, get lost, don't come around here no more, right? And that's the problem I'm having is it seems like she was more involved the first go round. And if she was involved in her daughter's life the first go round, then she knows her daughter went to Iowa. She knows her daughter went this way before. And she's getting on those things, and I don't understand why nobody's bringing up the fact that there is family that is related to them in Nebraska, and nobody's really talking about that or bringing that up. She said that the nearest part of her family, or the furthest place of her family, was Ohio. And I couldn't even find a whole lot of people in Ohio from their family, which was really weird, because that's the word that her mother, Lori Miranda, used, was Ohio. If she was met a man like Lori valued, well, I haven't seen any guy, like, people have been outside of that house. I mean, I'd have to think if she had a man that he would be over there, that you would see him helping her, packing and stuff like that. We've seen no guy. We've seen her go nowhere. We haven't heard of her in a relationship. I didn't even think she had a friend until somebody said that a friend picked her up and was driving a black Lincoln and took her to two different rental places, and she still couldn't get them to rent her a vehicle. Not if he's located in Nebraska. What was that answer to? Well, I mean, yeah, but if she had a man in Nebraska, I would have to think that law enforcement would have gotten that pretty easy. I mean, it seems like they would have been able to get a search warrant for a phone at minimum. Especially with her not cooperating. They should have a pretty good idea of some of the text messages and messages that they have. I would like to get a gauge from law enforcement. We really haven't had a press conference on this, I don't think. Did we have a press conference on this or no? I don't think we really had a press conference on this particular case from, officials. I mean, I know that they're concerned and they're trying to look for the child, but what are I'm hearing that they believe this child that there's nothing indicating that this child is deceased, but we hear that on every case, even the ones that we know the child's deceased on. So those types of statements fall on deaf ears, especially on this channel. But I just wish that they would tell us, what are they feeling? Do they feel that she's with somebody? Can they give us any more of an idea where in Nebraska, so we can start, making sure that people in this particular area, this is what I'm so concerned about in their need to try to control all the information. I feel like law enforcement screws up so much because, in a situation like this, they're saying Nebraska. Nebraska's a huge freaking state, okay? There's a lot that, if they would have told us 2 weeks ago, right, on the 14th or the 15th or the 16th, where they believed in Nebraska she was, we could have been putting out the call for people to look at their footage in this area, right? All our CCTV footage, their dash cam footage, any type. We could have been asking people for that. People could have started getting that stuff over to law enforcement, but it has been 12 days. 12 days since the initial report that Melodee has been missing. And at 12 days now. And we have no clue in Nebraska where this girl, they believe she was. So if we're not getting the information out and mainstream media is not getting the information out, how are the people in Nebraska knowing to look at their cameras, to look at their Ring doorbell footage, to look at their dash cam footage, to look at any type of video surveillance? I mean, how is that helping? I don't understand how that's helping this case, because people could help find her if we had some guidance. I mean, what the hell? Nebraska? And she turned around and managed to get into Kansas on her way back. Like the whole bottom half of the whole entire state, the whole bottom of the state is Kansas. How are we going to know to send our people or tell our people to go tell people to look for their footage, their camera footage? I saw on News Nation yesterday. Oh, hey, Archaholic, it's good to see you. What did you see? Hold on, let me go up here and see if I can. Hey, Grave Crime with Grace. It's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. 12 days is too... Exactly. We have no idea where in Nebraska. How are they getting the news out for people to search their video cameras? Like, you know, it's just so frustrating for me. It really is. It really is. Maybe they picked her up on some dash cam or, you know, those flock cameras. Maybe they got her on some flock cameras and know where she traveled, and they just don't want to let us know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they have to keep this type of stuff secret. It seems like if they want the information or they want evidence or they want tips, they would give you a little more guidance on where the tips come from. I mean, Nebraska's a huge state. And so is Kansas. So what part? What part? Where should... I have people in my chat right now from Kansas and friggin' Nebraska that are willing to look at their dash cams and their Ring doorbell cameras and stuff like that to see if they've seen a car pass at a certain date and time. But I can't tell them because I have no clue. I don't even know what part of Nebraska, what part of Kansas she was in. It just doesn't make any damn sense. But it would make sense if they don't want to tip the people off in those communities that they know where that she went. So we're still back to the same thing. It sounds like she handed her daughter over to somebody. Now, was her daughter sold, or was her daughter given to a family friend or family member, distant family member? I don't know. But I'd have to think that she gave her daughter to somebody she knew, because this is not the first time she's done it. This is not the first time she's gone out to this area. Why does she go out to this area? Only her mother knows. I'm absolutely 100% confident that only her mother knows. Hey, Medic Biker, it's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. I was tempted to go to Lexington and Cozad, Nebraska to look for Melodee. Well, you know what I'm thinking is if you do go, that's in Nebraska. Well, I was thinking if anybody's in Iowa, Marshalltown, Iowa, I would like to find out when she lived off of Lee Street. You know, when the specific time, because that will be then we'll know how long she was there before she returned home. One thing is she always returns home, because she's only lived in this area right here her entire life. So in order for her to go halfway across this country, it's because she's got something. You know? I'm just saying. I don't know much about much. Oh, excuse me. Woo-wee. I'm getting tired. Betty's getting tired. It's only 6:49. I've been going to bed a lot earlier because I've been getting up a lot earlier. We're going to start rolling out our lives. I'm going to start doing 3 lives a day. We're going to be on this channel, then we're going to go on our other channel, and then we're going to come back to this channel. So we're going to be doing 3 lives a day. And then it's just our backup channel. What is it? We have the coffee, the true crime. What is it? Bullhorn Betty and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We're going to be bouncing between those starting tomorrow. We're going to be doing updates on Kada and then this Melodee case. We're going to be taking on another case because we've got another one, but I've got to pull some information on because it's a little bit interesting, but it's a little bit older of a case. Thought I had it right here, but I guess I don't. I'll have to go back and look at it. But at any rate, oh yeah, I'm getting tired. We'll be going back and forth between those two, and in between of those, we're going to also be having videos because I'll be getting back on my TikTok and getting that up and running. But we have a lot of stuff, and then not only that, but as we start getting closer and closer to Christmas, as you guys know, it starts getting a little crazy out there because the closer we get to holidays, for whatever reason, it seems like that's when families start really hurting each other. I don't know if it's the stress of the holidays. It's definitely not the holiday spirit, but every single year we have horrible things that happen on Thanksgiving or the day before, the day after, and the same with Christmas. Right before Christmas, it seems like we start realizing that there's some children missing, because a lot of foster cares and semi-adopted children. What I mean by semis, they're adopted by family, but they still have with the biological family, they're still able to have some type of visitation and stuff like that with them. So people, or even their families, because just because your child's taken away from a mom or a father, the grandparents still want to have a relationship with their children. And so those are sometimes worked in when the state's involved. And a lot of these extended family members start, wanting to schedule time with their loved ones that are either in foster care or adopted out to spend the holidays with them, and for a few hours or whatever the case may be. And that's when we start hearing these children are reported missing and things like that, is because people are trying to see them and they don't have children to produce. Next thing you know, they were cutting wood and their child wanders off from outside from their backyard, and come to find out the child's been gone for months. And it just seems like every year we have a story like that pops up somehow, and it's always sad. So we'll be monitoring that. But this case here, I'm wanting to dive in a little bit deeper, but I don't really have a whole lot to dive in a little deeper on in this case. I just don't. Think about it. We're hearing that the mom took off with this child. The law enforcement is not really giving us a whole lot to work with here. They're telling us a state of Nebraska. She went to Nebraska, but that's not really giving, again, a whole lot of information. Nebraska where? Where should we tell people to look for videos or CCTV footage? Or we have none of that. This is Grandma here. This is Lori Miranda. And again, she tells this interviewee person, that she doesn't know why her daughter went toward Nebraska. And I also found her statement about how her daughter's just, we even said something about it because it frustrated me so much. So her mom here, Lori, had said this interview and said something like, "My daughter is severely bipolar and I just couldn't handle her. So I haven't talked to her in a year and a half, 2 years. I've got my therapist and everything like that." And I thought, wow, what a piece of garbage. You wonder why we're in a situation like this. You're saying your daughter is mentally unhealthy, and you're letting her care for your granddaughter and not bother checking on her in a year and a half to 2 years, And I don't believe that. I believe this mom knows a lot more about her daughter than she's professing. I think she knows exactly why her daughter went toward Nebraska, because her daughter went to Iowa. And only this lady here knows why her daughter went to Iowa. And I feel like she has been deceptive. And I feel she's been deceptive to law enforcement because she's got family in Nebraska. She's got family, a lot of family. I think we counted at least 5 or 6, a half a dozen to a dozen family members that live in Nebraska. How would she not know that? I don't believe she didn't know that. It's either her brother or her cousin. I bet you she has a brother, and I bet you his name is Jose Miranda. And if that's the case, he lives in Nebraska. They have a few Jose Mirandas. One has D as a middle name, one has B as a middle name, one has A as a middle name. But it's the Jose B. Miranda. He's the one that lives in Nebraska. So, anyways, that's what I have. Let me see if I've got something else. I think there was something else. Oh, there was. I've been trying to do, building a family tree because I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on, where I wanted to find out. This is the whole purpose of this rabbit hole I went down today. It was to find out if her mom's name, Miranda, is her maiden name or not. It looks like it's her maiden name, okay? After spending like 3 hours on this quest, I still can't determine 100%. I'm still at the same boat I was when I started this venture today, right? I started this venture to find out, what, if her mom is truly a Miranda or if she remarried. And if she remarried, what her husband's name is, so we can start going down that road. Exactly. We want to know what town or something. Yeah, Sasha, you know what I'm saying? So if anybody hears that's where I'm going. And 12 days is too long. We got to get past this. So I'm monitoring the FBI, I'm monitoring the FBI. I'm going here. Here's the latest update. This is from the 24th. So this is the latest update we had, and they haven't given us really another update since the 24th, and this is when we got the new images of got the new images of Melodee from the budget rental car. So it sounds like she goes to Santa Maria to rent the cars. Santa Maria is the town that's about 20 minutes away from Lompoc. I'm assuming that Lompoc must be kind of, it seems like there's a lot of houses around there. It's not like a desolate or country, not like what we dealt with Jake Harrow. That was like in the middle of nowhere that they were at. Oh, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Let me go down here and see what you did. Oh, thank you. Allegedly, Lori Miranda quit cooperating with law enforcement. Where did you oh, look who it is. Well, hello there, you never believe what I found. Look what I found today. Because I'm going through my stuff. Look what I found. I won't show the front of this. Because I was getting my Christmas stuff out to get it ready. Look what I found. Southern Grammy. Look. I'm going to be putting stuff up. Look what I found. I can't believe I found it from last year. You sent it to me last year. So I'm only putting that stuff up this year. I didn't forget. I'm going to be decorating this year. Oh, yeah. Hey, JH. It's nice to see you. So I've got some cute stuff. I can't wait to decorate. I really can't. I can't wait to decorate. Hey guys, if you're coming in, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'm Bullhorn Betty. We're covering the case of true crime, and we're covering Melodee Buzzard. She's a beautiful 9-year-old child that disappeared. It sounds like Grandma's not cooperating now, too. Where did you find out that Grandma allegedly isn't cooperating? I mean, I can understand because I think she's full of shit. Excuse my language. Sorry.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
Officials have not announced criminal charges against Ashlee Buzzard, reporting she remains uncooperative but not yet facing charges. Did they just send out a new update about her? Let me just check here. Hold on, let me pull it back. Thank you, Army Vet. Let's see what we got going on here. 3 hours ago. Let's see what we got here. This is from CNN. Hold on. Do we have anything else? Unless it's posted somewhere else. Let's see what CNN has here. Yeah, that's about right. It's got... All right. So I'll read this and see if this is any. School administrators reported 9-year-old girl missing after she hadn't been seen in months. When deputies, so they're saying months. So I don't know why her mother stopped having her check into her work. It seems like if she was okay, she was happy and healthy, why didn't she just have her do her freaking homework? It seems so stupid. If prosecutors file and win criminal charges related to taking, hiding, endangering, or unlawfully removing a child, a conviction could result in jail or prison depending on the offenses and sentencing. Thank you for that. Legal threshold charging, even troubling behavior or concerning circumstances don't automatically meet the legal element prosecutors need to prove criminal conduct beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you for that. Thank you. Aw, that made my day. Aw. I found those today. I was cleaning up and I'm like, you know what I need? Because I'm trying to get things ready for Christmas, and I had it next to my snowman that I forgot to put in the box, so I had it up on the bureau for like the entire year, and I saw it. I'm like, ooh, I remember this, and I opened it up, and sure enough, there it was. So, let's see what we got here. Okay, let me get back to reading this. Now officials are investigating why her mom drove them in a rental car from North Carolina to Nebraska and why the 9-year-old was apparently wearing a wig in surveillance photos captured earlier this month. The last person who was with Melodee was her mother, Ashlee, on October 7th, possibly during a road trip to Nebraska, investigators have said. But Ashlee has been uncooperative with investigators throughout the search for the missing child. Melodee's disappearance has sparked an investigation into the child's whereabouts as the search approaches its second week. We are hopeful that Melodee might be with someone, perhaps an extended family member or friend who may not be aware of the circumstances of her disappearance. And this actually, I think, is kind of where a lot of us are leaning right now. You know, I think a lot of us are leaning, hey Jitter, OG Jitter, it's nice to see you. Be Betty fan, it's nice to see you, love. Because this is what it looks like. Maybe she thought Melodee's school computer was spying on that. You know, paranoia. You know, I do believe her mom was kind of, you know, yeah, that's a possibility. You know what? That it really is. That could be very much. Or she sold the computer to pay bills or substances. I mean, for all we know. But I did see a tablet in her hand. Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Bill Lee said, with only years-old photos of Melodee and an alleged uncooperative mother, officials are working with scant details about the young girl, but detectives have narrowed the critical timeline to 3 days in early October, and those 3 days are the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. She returned the 9th, so 7th, 8th, and 9th. Authorities first went looking for Melodee at her home in Lompoc, an hour drive from Santa Barbara, after a school administrator reported her continued absence on October 14th, but they did not find the child. No verifiable explanation of where her whereabouts were provided. The investigation indicates that Melodee was with her mother as recently as October 7th, 2025, the FBI said. And we know she was alive. And here she is. And she's in a wig. She's being disguised. She's being disguised. we're dealing right now with a mother that took her daughter, and I truly believe hit her daughter. Her mom's been up. This is where I'm at with this whole case. Her mom has been through hell, okay? Her mom has been slapped through hell. Her mom had a baby. Her baby's daddy died when this baby was just a baby. As she's still going through postpartum, she's losing her shit, right? She's had her worst days. She's had her best days, and her daughter is still alive. So I'm not seeing this as, where I'm seeing a mommy beating the crap out of her child. I'm looking at her child. I don't see any scars, any bruising, anything on this child's face. I'm not seeing anything. Now, granted, she's covered from head to toe. You can't really see the body. But I'm not, for all intents and purposes, I'm looking at a healthy child, okay? I'm looking at a healthy child. That's the issue. I'm looking at a healthy child, okay? Her mom has been through hell and back, and she still managed to have a healthy child. So at this point, it's hard for me to believe that mom just loses her shit, rents a car, spends all this money, drives her to Timbuktu, offs her, gets in her car, and comes back. That doesn't make sense to me. What does make sense to me is her mom's done this before, and her mom went in that very, very same direct path. She's scared of dad's family. Yep, and they have, yes. I bet you anything, we're going to find out it's either her mom's side of the family or her dad's side of the family. You got to remember her dad died in 1998, so she probably has a lot of family that she saw many, 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 many years ago, long before Melodee was ever born, that she hasn't seen in a really long time. That's her dad's side of the family. There is that possibility as well. Maybe we need to be looking into Richard. I'll have to look into Richard. But if her mom's now not, if Lori's now not cooperating, then yeah, we've got a problem. And Lori knows exactly where her daughter went and where her granddaughter is. I would say, apply pressure to Lori. Lori's got answers. I can tell you that. If mom's not cooperating, grandma might. I think grandma, because of her age and health, I think you can rattle her a little bit better. I don't know. I feel like if my mom really wanted to keep her mouth shut and wanted to lie for me, I think my mom would do a great job to do that, depending on the situation. But I do believe that law enforcement would rattle my mom's cage, and my mom would ultimately, break. Like, I don't think my mama's gonna be my co-conspirator, y'all. I'm just saying, okay? I don't think my mama can keep her mouth shut. But you know what? I'm the same way. I don't want to be part. Don't make me part of your crime. I'm one of those people that would get the stitches, okay? Because snitches get stitches. I'm a snitch. Okay? I'm a snitch. I'm a cop caller. Okay, y'all? I'm a cop caller. You don't want me. You don't want me in your crew. Okay, I promise you. You don't want me in your crew. And you don't want my mama in your crew either, okay? You think I'm a loudmouth. My mama, I gotta tell my mama, you better not tell nobody. She's like, I won't tell nobody. Then I'll be looking at Facebook. I'm like, Mama, why did so-and-so say so-and-so? She's like, well, I was talking to you about, Mom, well, I didn't say your name. I'm like, who the hell do you think they think you're talking about, So you can't trust Mama with nothing. You can't trust Bullhorn Betty with nothing. You know what? Just don't trust us. We're just snitches. Don't trust us. The good news is I really do believe we're looking at a very much okay child here. I'm concerned that this child's not completing her schoolwork. I mean, at the end of the day, she's got to be able to deal with life when she becomes an adult, okay? And so her not completing schoolwork, her mom doing all this. This is not cool. This is not cool. But in the same sense, I kind of understand if mom is doing this, why she's doing it. Okay? She has no good experience with that side of the family. I think she's terrified if the state takes her child away again, that the other side of the family is going to get custody of her child and she will never see her again. I think that is truly her fear. I think that is truly, truly, truly her fear. And I think that's causing her to do some of these more drastic measures than we've seen. I'm glad that this case has blown up the way it has, and I'm praying we're accurate, because the other side of the coin is if we're inaccurate, then we probably have a deceased little girl here. But there's just a piece of me, there's just almost this calming that comes over me with this case. And it's because I truly feel that this child's okay. We still need to find this child. I believe this child is anywhere between Nebraska and Iowa. That's where I think this child is. I actually did some, I was going to go out there and, start doing something. I didn't know what. It's a long trip, and I was trying to see what the budget would be on something like this. I don't want to do it because there are several factors to why I don't want to do it. One, it's like on the other side of the United States. But two, I don't believe she's there. I don't believe she's in California. I believe she's in Nebraska or Iowa. That's where I believe she's at. And so if I believe she's there, me going over to Lompoc, California is in the wrong area for me to be. And without knowing what vicinity of Nebraska we're looking at, the search cannot happen. We can't start looking or posting flyers or doing anything of that kind of work until we have a location. We have no location. The only thing we know is that this child's not in Lompoc, California, okay? That's the one thing we can say, is this child's most likely not in California at all, okay? So us being in California and searching in California is fruitless, in my opinion. I don't believe this child's there. I don't believe this child's been dumped there. I don't believe anything. I believe this child was put in a wig, and I believe she was taken halfway across the country and dropped off with somebody. That's exactly what I think happened. That's exactly what I think happened. She was worried that they were coming to get her kid, and she got her kid out of there. That's what happened, period. So we're looking at an okay kid. We just need to find her. And you know what? And I feel bad because I feel like if we find her, the state's going to take her. And I don't know if that's the best. I don't know if that's in the best interest of this child. I really don't. I don't know if that's in the best interest of this child. I'm sorry. I just don't. For a variety of reasons. So we're going to keep monitoring this case. I don't know how we're going to move forward in this case without more cooperation from law enforcement. But what they're giving us is not, I'm glad we've got this, but it's not enough. It's not enough. In order for the public to be helpful, you've already lost days. Somebody's cameras have already been, recorded over, in the time that they've lollygagged on telling us what area of Nebraska it is. At the end of the day, oh, thank you, Sheila. I appreciate it. At the end of the day, think about it. All this time has passed. Somebody's recorders have already been recorded over because they didn't tell us the area of Nebraska this woman was in, and we could not, get the call out to our people to look at their recorders. And those recorders will just roll right over. The store recorders as well. Everything just rolls right over. So I pray to God that they've, identified the area and got law enforcement out there to, penetrate the area out there. Maybe that's what they did instead of going public and going at, maybe the ground search, maybe shoe leather detective work, sending the FBI agents out there in the area to knock on people's doors and knock on businesses to find those videotapes. Maybe they did that. Maybe we're not giving them enough credit, but that seems like a lot of legwork. Did they have enough manpower to do that type of legwork? I don't know. But each day that passes, I'm starting to think that this child is with Lori's family. I really do. Lori knows. Ashlee's mom, I think law enforcement need to squeeze her. She knows more than she's saying she knows. Surveillance is key. It is key. And that's why it always frustrates me listen, at the end of the day, no matter how we look at this, when children are abducted or missing, even from family, we have a small window to try to get them and find them and get them back safely before they're gone. Okay? And when we have a situation like that, it's hard to believe that law enforcement would drag their ass about critical information that could help find them. I don't think being in what part of Nebraska she was in would have, unless they're worried about tipping off people, which is a possibility, but that would mean they would have to be in that area. And it sounds like they don't know anything about this case. Like they seem like I just don't see them throwing this stuff here out. But if she is with family and they do go to somebody's house, they're going to hide this child because they know they're looking for her and she's specifically there to be hidden. So I hope people aren't putting their neck out too much, because you don't need to be going to jail for somebody else's child. You don't want to be fighting states and counties, and this is getting a little bit bigger. So Lori, you need to fess up. You need to tell your daughter to do the right thing. Tell these people where she's at so they can just go and check her and make sure she's healthy. If she's healthy, they can't take this child away from her. She needs to get her stuff back into school. She needs to be doing her work and getting back on track. This cannot continue to go on. But don't be an accomplice. Nobody should be an accomplice for this woman. I'm not sure why a homeschool would report her missing. Did I read it wrong? No. They have protocols. She didn't complete assignments. She wasn't completing assignments and hadn't completed assignments in 2 months. And so they were worried about her well-being and started the truancy protocols. So I guess she was also accustomed to going on field trips with her classmates, and they hadn't seen her on field trips in a while either, which could have probably had a lot to do with finances or what have you. But there's just a lot of information we don't necessarily have about this case yet. So there is that. All right, guys, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. You guys have a great evening. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. We're going to dive into this case a little bit more. It's perplexing. I'm hoping I'm right. There's nothing there's nothing worse than thinking that this child's okay and then find out that, her mom drove her across state lines and drowned her in a pond, which, again, not unheard of, okay? We have literally heard it all on this show. It's insane. It's tough, but I'm praying for this child, because for the first time I feel like her mom is trying to get out of the state so her daughter's not taken from her. We've seen state jumpers. We talk about them. We want laws to prevent this stuff from happening, right? But we still have state jumpers, and it sounds like she's a state jumper. Every time her daughter starts, looking like she's going to be taken, she jumps ship and leaves the state. And I think she got her daughter out of the state so they wouldn't have jurisdiction over her daughter. That's what I think happened. Sorry, not sorry. All right, guys, rock it out. We'll see you soon. We'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early.